The Blokebusters podcast is proud to be a member of the Pod Bros Network. You can find us as well as other fine shows such as The Guy Huddle, Language of Bromance, and Dave's Nerd Compendium at podbros.com and on Twitter at Podbros Network. Now sit back, relax, and enjoy this episode of the Blokebusters podcast.
I'm Santa, and I endorse this product or service.
Santa's laughter mocks the poor, it's Christmas time again. You hear it in the songs of joy promoting fiscal gain. You see it in the credit cards that plaster down the drain. Cause Santa's laughter mocks the poor, and here it comes again. Santa's laughter mocks the poor, it echoes in the night. A nagging sound that makes you wonder if you got it right. Everybody lies awake and thinks there's more to life, but Santa's laughter mocks the poor.
Welcome to episode 59 of the Blokebusters podcast. I'm Brian.
I'm Paul.
And today, this is our generic Christmas special.
Yes, very generic.
We are going to briefly talk about probably Paul and I's favorite Christmas special, not only of this year, if I'm speaking for myself, but probably of all time, just straight up Christmas special, which we'll get to in just a sec.
It was fairly interesting.
Yeah, and a little later in the podcast, we'll just kind of go over all-time favorite Christmas movies, and included with that, favorite films to watch around Christmas that may not necessarily be called Christmas films.
Yes,
and your diehards is kind of the typical example there.
Yes, yeah. And we might even get into the discussion that I think we might have had before, whether or not they are.
And what qualifies as a Christmas film? Is it a bigger idea? We might get to all of that existential stuff.
And also, just before we go into it, just to get the politically correct thing out of the way, Happy Hanukkah and all that to all the others. The reason we say Christmas is because we are in an area where Christmas is the predominant holiday of the season.
Early happy Festivus to you, Paul. 2 days away from the official Festivus, which is what my personal religion is. One created by a television show in the 90s.
Oh, yes. And Merry Solstice to you too, sir.
Yes, happy Saturnalia. Alright.
Okay, so yes,
real quick,
I think that's everything.
Reach us on Twitter at Blokebusters, Facebook.com/Blokebusters. Probably the best two ways to get a hold of us.
Yes, we do have an email in case you want to send us some paragraphs of stuff. That's blokebusterpodcast@gmail.com, and as always, do check out our website. It's a little bit of a labour of love, even though we are kind of lazy with it. Blokebusters.webs.com.
Good enough. All right.
Yeah.
So, what is this special I was talking about, Paul?
Well, if it's the one I think you're talking about, I believe it's called A Very Merry Christmas.
Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer was the correct answer. I've never seen it.
Although I would actually like to say then, very quickly, with Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer, that is an awful story. I mean,
it is not a good thing you probably want kids watching.
No, it is this little reindeer that is picked on relentlessly by all of these other reindeer for being
different,
the only one of his kind, and then simply because it's a little foggy, which if you actually watch the special, which I've only seen bits and pieces of, it's not foggy at all. Then they realise, we can stick him in front. Hey, why don't you do that? And then all of a sudden he's the most popular reindeer that ever existed. How fickle are these reindeer?
And what about those kids out there that don't have a red nose? You're like, how about you're just weird and awkward, but then you shouldn't be accepted. No.
Yeah.
If you don't have a use to you. Yeah.
I mean, maybe not growing
Maybe we all have to find our meaning. Okay. Rudolph.
Yes. Okay. So.
What were we talking about?
Yes. A Very Merry Christmas. The Bill Murray Netflix.
Yeah.
There you go. The Bill Murray Netflix original special that, I'll be honest, wasn't quite what I was anticipating. I didn't know what it was going into.
More concerty than I thought it would be.
Yeah. Which was fine. I realized about 15 minutes in what it was going to be, just because of how many songs they managed to put in it. But it was it was both unique and also a send-off of all those other things at the same time.
Because I believe, I don't know, I've had this conversation, I've been trying to get a lot of people to watch this just because I think it's something fun to watch around this time of year. But I was saying, you know, having seen like specials they kind of try to throw together at Christmas time on your regular network television or whatever, that just have always fallen flat for myself.
Yeah.
It'll just be like, I don't even know if this is a fair jab at this guy, but it just seems like something that like Donny Osmond would be on, like a piano singing Jingle Bells or something, you know?
Yeah, the thing where they get about 5 random celebrities to come on and do a little bit of singing and dancing.
Mm-hmm, singing, dancing, or maybe a little game or something, or Santa comes out and does something, and it's like, okay, that's cute, and it's for 8-year-olds, and parents will suffer through it, but there's really never been anything for myself in those.
No.
I'm happy to say that has changed somewhat. Even from the opening shot of, well, the establishing shot of the Carlisle, and then the interior of him looking out the window, and all you see are just antlers. Yeah. Bill Murray wearing his antlers, looking out.
Which I believe was the teaser trailer for it, right?
Yeah.
Which I thought was really great, that the teaser trailer for it was almost literally the opening shot. Like, it's the second shot in the thing.
And I'm sure you also enjoyed the somewhat meta aspect of it, the special about a special.
Yeah.
Yeah, no one's coming to. Yeah.
I really liked that humor to it.
And that was a really good way to enter into it, to find a way into the special.
Yeah.
Because it's a little rough to just start off, okay, Bill Murray, because then he would have maybe fallen along those other specials that I'd said. It still would have been better because they had Bill Murray. But
yes.
Just to start off ahead as a special. Because, were you fooled at all when they started tonight? Celebrities, you know, did you think that was the actual special you were watching for a brief second or not? No. Okay. All right. I was wondering.
No. Especially given when they were doing all of the scenes of the celebrities, like, well, that's from the Oscars. That's from the Oscars.
Angelina Jolie are in Africa. It's a hut. Does anyone see a hut?
Yeah. I mean, which was perfect as well. Like, they start showing the clips, and I was like, well, that's obviously from the Oscars or another award ceremony, and then Bill Murray comes in 5 seconds later saying, well, that's from Golden Globes.
So these aren't going to match at all. Yeah. I did like the original, his first guest, Chris Rock. Did you?
Well, yes and no, because obviously it was Michael Cera.
Well, Michael Cera would be. Yeah, they didn't do a song together, but
I did like how the whole idea was he was Chris Rock and he is Bill Murray. But then everyone else isn't.
Well, he would be the only one not playing himself, right? The big celebrity. Well, I guess Amy Poehler's more of it. She was still Amy, I believe, but
yeah, I think there are
just a producer, and then Beverly produced.
Yeah, I think there are only 4 people in this that play themselves in quotation mark, and everyone else is a character. You've got Bill Murray as Bill Murray. Mm-hmm. Chris Rock is Chris Rock, and the other 2 that are a little later that we'll get to.
Okay, so you wouldn't call Paul Schaefer being Paul Schaefer?
Well, okay,
that's
all right.
Paul Schaefer.
I'll give him that.
Yeah. I'm not familiar enough with the Dimitri guy.
I guess I was thinking along the lines of so. A/.
Okay. But Michael Cera is the first one we meet who's really in character. And,
I mean, was it Amy Poehler and who's the other one?
I'm not familiar with her, but I know she does do producing. I believe on kind of award shows,
right? Yeah, and
like
they are playing
and
his
writer.
Agents, as it were, agent producers on this special and Bill Murray. The whole idea behind this is Bill Murray has been roped into this special that he really doesn't want to do because he knows no one's going to be there.
Well, and then on top of that, now one of the biggest blizzards New York has ever seen is hit, and shutting down all public transportation.
Yeah, so even if there was a slim hope of someone turning up, there isn't anymore.
Yeah. I just loved that whole kind of idea to it. But yeah, roping Chris Rock into it.
Yeah, Chris Rock randomly turns up. I don't even remember what his reasoning was for turning up there.
I don't know either. Yeah, he had walked on the subway rails to get there. Yeah, I'm not sure why he was out.
And meets Bill Murray in the revolving door.
Yeah,
and yeah, it's one of those things that they love to do in comedy, and I wish I could remember the name of it because there is a specific name
for this,
where someone says, "There is no way you're ever going to get me to do this thing," and then it's immediate cut to them doing that thing.
There's no... I think the only F-bomb, and there's no fucking way I'm doing a Christmas special.
No. And it's not an immediate cut because it is Bill Murray going, "Okay, all right, get in there."
I think I hear what you're saying. Well, yeah. Just real quick back to Sarah. I did like the little Monuments Men bit too. George Clooney was their argument that, sorry, spoiler. It's out now. Yeah. But go ahead and see this. I mean, if you go to Netflix, he's like the second or third name in the cast list.
Yeah, he's up there.
Yeah. But yeah, you know, Monuments Man, to rest my case.
Yeah.
I was in Monuments Man. Wait, where were we? 7 on the call sheet? Yeah. Alright, but yeah, we got to pick up the pace on this. But overall, I was really impressed with the musical selections.
Yeah.
It was a lot of Christmas music. I mean, I will happily go on the record as not being a huge fan of Christmas music.
Ooh, no, me neither.
Your Jingle Bells, your, Santa Claus is coming to town. All those peppy, I don't like them.
And I think the biggest problem that, maybe it wouldn't be too bad if for 2 or 3 weeks out of the year it was very prevalent. But it seemed to start mid-November, if not early November.
Oh, no, yeah. From having worked in a grocery store, it started early November when I had worked in a grocery store. And that's just numbs you to it all.
Yeah, I do think that people that work in retail are probably most likely to hate Christmas music.
Yeah. Well said. But I was there was a lot of what I was kind of calling B-sides to Christmas music. Some that you kind of, now I'm hearing more than ever because I've seen the special. It's kind of that thing you learn a new word and then it pops up everywhere.
Yeah.
But a lot of the Christmas songs are ones that have always kind of been in the background. There are a few of the classics, Silent Night and what have you, or Baby It's Cold Outside, but they always did something different with it.
Really.
The one that really I was just stunned by was Maya Rudolph, who's just a comic genius, just nailing Baby Please Come Home.
Yeah,
It's also called Christmas, parentheses, Baby Please Come Home.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, I was watching that and I was looking at it again, I was like, I genuinely don't know if that's her or if they got a professional singer and she's miming.
No, that's her.
It was fantastic.
From the second it starts, you're like, okay, she's having fun with this, and just the kind of way she greets Paul, you kind of get a feeling like they've played together before or something. She's like, hey, Paul, and but yes, her mother, for people who don't know, is extremely talented. Did you?
I
know
did not.
This? Okay, no. I'm not. I knew the name at one point, but I'm not going to look up the name. It's not Rudolph, because that'd be a little easy. But her mom was a very well-known singer and died young, and most famously on I think it's called "Loving You." It's the song that goes through 4 or 5 octaves. "Loving You is easy 'cause you're beautiful," and then that really high. Yeah, that was her mom. So yeah, a little more talent there. As far as the funny bone as well, but by and large, your impressions, because I think we got to get moving on.
It really actually surprised me, just showing me how good a singer so many people were. Miley Cyrus is in it. She is a phenomenal singer.
Is she not? Thank you. I am somewhat on Team Miley now. Maybe not for her.
Well, no, I may not enjoy her music.
Yeah.
But she's a fantastic singer.
She is. That's what I was telling. I showed this to my mother when I went home, and I was like, Miley can sing, and my mom was like, I know. I'm like, I didn't. Her pop music, whatever writers give to her, hasn't certainly showcased that to this point. Because she sounded, I think, flat in a lot of the stuff. But her Silent Night was almost got me to weep. It was so well done.
Yeah, I mean, she's not someone you would have thought to get on this, but it shows she's got range. Like,
She does, yeah.
And in the same section as well, George Clooney is funny.
He has always, yes, I hate that man because he has great looks and lots of money and charisma, and he's funny.
Talented actor,
yeah.
I mean, they do a song, like, I had never heard the song before. I assume it is an Elvis song. I don't know, the Santa Claus Wants Some Lovin' or whatever.
I was assuming it was an original for the...
Maybe it was, I don't know. But I was talking to Jamie as we were watching this, and I just said, I get the feeling he turned up on set that day and said, I'm going to hide behind this tree.
I will do it if I get to do this. Not even full body, just half leans out like a video game when you're peeking around the corner in Call of Duty or what have you. You're just popping your head around the corner.
And only every single...
Loving.
And
then pop right back behind the tree. And then hold the mic.
And even in the wide shots, you see him just like shuffling around as the camera moves just to stay behind the tree. And at this point, it's not necessarily actually happening in inverted commas, but like it was just a wonderful additional thing.
It was a great way to send it off. But yeah, I was just surprised by all of the just performances I wasn't expecting, like the Brandy girl with "Baby It's Cold Outside." I like how they had fun with that. It wasn't word for word the song. Bill Murray, just changed up his parts. The band Phoenix popping in there with Jason Schwartzman on the drums.
The band Phoenix just being the chefs, because why not?
I mean, it was a cool Christmas song, and I would say if you've watched it more than once or twice, as I've watched it maybe 2.5 times, like the third time I was just picking songs through.
Right.
But watch Scooter in the background of the Phoenix song. He is just going crazy with that shaker or mixer or whatever. It's absolutely hilarious, him in the background. But yes, I think our point is, if you haven't seen this special, I would certainly give it a try.
I'm not a Christmas special fan in general. Sometimes they're really good and sometimes they're awful, and most of the time they're fairly bland. But this one was so well done, and so clearly Bill Murray is saying, I just want to do this, and he managed to do it. And it was just a wonderful hour long, and it was only an hour. That was the thing.
It's actually, I think, it came in just under an hour. It's like 58 or something. But there's just about 10 to 15 minutes of setup, and then it's song, shtick, song, and it just keeps up that pace. And if you're a fan of good music, it's not going to annoy you with the really generic renditions of Jingle Bells. They play at that, but it's well worth pop it on during the day while you're making some food around Christmas time or something. It's definitely well worth it.
Yeah, do give it a watch. And if you're already a Netflix subscriber, it's free.
Yes. Or $8.99 divided by how many movies you watch a month.
Yes, there you go.
That's always how I have to think of it.
Yeah.
All right. I'm like, I gotta at least watch 20, so they're 50 cents each.
Yeah.
That's it. All right. That's just cheap ass Brian. All right. Thanks for the insight. So now, I think we just kind of wanted to get into a lot more Christmas-esque movies, and some maybe not so much.
Yes, I mean, if you listen to our very first Christmas special, we did go over a few in there and our thoughts on that. I think we're going to cover more this time, but it is going to be more rapid fire.
Yes, just, I was able to locate a couple of compilations through... some might say reputable. This is kind of a rag now. Look at and some other well-known sites. But the first one I'm going to just fly through is the top 20 Christmas movies by AMC. And this is not their list they've compiled. From what I can gather, it looks like they had a list, and this is what people have voted their top 20.
Okay.
And you can still vote up or vote down if you'd like. But the number one...
I was going to say, why don't we go in reverse order? But number one is fine. Yes,
okay. Well, then I can start it all the way back at 20. Yes. So, spoiler. 12. 20. Bad Santa. Yeah.
Okay.
Seen it?
Nope.
No.
And I don't want to either. I had this discussion with someone yesterday. Like, I'm not the biggest...
Bill Murray and that kid together are pretty good. Yeah. Just, it's kind of touching, but yeah. And Bill Murray.
Billy Bob Thornton.
Yeah, did I call him Bill Murray? Yeah.
You did.
I did, yes.
I was going to say, I'm fairly certain he's not in it.
Yeah, was he in that? No. That would have been interesting. The Nightmare Before Christmas, 19.
Yeah, I actually had to talk to someone about that. I was saying, like, it's both Halloween and Christmas, but they were saying it was only Halloween. It's like, no!
Even though there's a song called This Is Halloween. This is Halloween.
That is the opening song that occurs during Halloween. But then, if you'll recall,
yes, I do
Christmas occurs at the end.
Yes. I would consider it more a Christmas movie, even though it looks like more of a Halloween movie.
Yeah.
Just
and also,
Burton design.
Not to go into semantics, but I'm going to go into semantics. Surely it's a nightmare on Christmas rather than before.
Nightmare on Christmas?
Yeah, because the whole point is, like, they take over Christmas, so it's... like,
yeah.
But whatever.
I like their little log line. Tim Burton and Henry Selick. There's... I don't even know how to say it. Selick, yeah. And Channing Tatum has all the familiar bones of a holiday classic. Love, redemption, and Santa. Yeah, well put. Christmas in Connecticut. Haven't seen it.
Never heard of it.
All right. The Muppet Christmas Carol.
Oh, wait. That is actually one of my favorite Christmas films.
All right, I will vote that up for you, sir.
All right.
16, Scrooge.
Too low.
Holiday Inn, which is a good classic movie. That's Bing Crosby and Fred Astaire.
Okay, so not seen it, but I have heard of it.
Yeah, I bought like a limited edition, whatever DVD for my mom about years ago. She's probably never seen it. All right. 14. Oh, this would be too high on my list. Dr. Seuss's How the Grinch Stole Christmas. That would be the Jim Carrey.
No, actually, that would be the cartoon.
No.
What?
No, it's How the Grinch Stole Christmas is the cartoon.
Well, yeah, it's Dr. Seuss's How the Grinch Stole Christmas. That's the cartoon.
Well, perhaps AMC has it wrong.
Live editorial here for you folks. I'm fairly certain that the cartoon is called Dr. Seuss's How the Grinch Stole Christmas. And the only reason I know that is where I work, they recently put it on.
How the Grinch Stole Christmas is coming up. Well, see, I always thought this was called just The Grinch, and then I thought AMC I trusted AMC.
I thought it was The Grinch, and then in brackets, How the Grinch Stole Christmas. Is how I always
movie poster work here, The Grinch.
Yeah, exactly. That's how it was when it was in the cinema.
But on IMDb it says How the Grinch Stole Christmas, and then on the cartoon, Dr. Seuss is on the artwork.
Exactly.
Dr. Seuss's How the Grinch Stole Christmas, but also just listed How the Grinch Stole Christmas, 1966. This
is the point when Brian normally goes cross-eyed, but since he's the one looking it up, I think he's okay.
I'm okay. But so anyway, we'll call number 14 the Jim Carrey version.
Okay.
Not a fan.
Fair enough. Okay. My wife's favourite Christmas film there, but there we go.
Are you a fan?
I don't hate it, but I don't think it's anything special.
Okay. A Christmas Carol. That would be the George C. Scott version, number 13. That's not the version that I was... Really, I think it was the Mickey Mouse version that I had first seen. With Mickey Tiny Tim or whatever.
I think the only one I've ever seen all the way through is the Muppet one.
Okay. So far, okay. Well, White Christmas. Yeah. That's the follow-up to Holiday Inn. Yeah. Okay. The Santa Claus, that'd be Tim Allen.
I enjoyed that one.
And no subsequent...
It was a steady decline after that.
Pretty much, yeah. Frosty the Snowman.
No.
That's one of the holiday specials.
No.
Okay. Fair enough. I'll let that weigh in for me as well. A Christmas Story. You'll shoot your eye out, Paul, which you don't even have any
Again,
idea
I still have not seen it, but... Yes. Well, I know what it means.
I guess, yeah, it's in the... yes, all lexicon now. Miracle on 34th Street.
Which one?
Classic. I would assume the first...
The original.
Not the TV one or whatever.
Not the Matilda one. No.
Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer. We've already gone into that.
Yes.
Number 6, A Charlie Brown Christmas. Awfully high, I think, for Charlie Brown.
I don't believe I've seen that one.
They
I've
show it on
I've seen pieces of it.
or whatever. Number 5, Christmas Vacation, National Lamp style.
Fair enough.
Paul just didn't get onto that one early enough.
No, I mean, it was. I enjoyed bits and pieces.
And I had this
one.
talk, with someone that it's lost a little of the punch for me, but it's still a perennial watch. It's a Wonderful Life.
I believe we went into this on the first special.
That is not such a wonderful movie.
It is not a Christmas film either.
No.
It has nothing to do with Christmas aside from the fact that it happened to take place
cold out.
near it.
They wear jackets.
Yes.
Okay. Home Alone.
Yeah, I'm on board with that one.
Okay. And number 2, the cartoon version, How the Grinch Stole Christmas. Boris Karloff.
Right, yeah.
Mm-hmm. So I would probably put that as 1, and then 1 we've already revealed as Elf. So obviously this is some younger voters, I think.
I would imagine, yeah. Seems like it.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Now, speaking of Home Alone, actually, I don't know if you've seen, and you probably have, Macaulay Culkin in collaboration with someone else whose name I don't remember. They've made a series of little shorts and they're releasing them. They've only released the first one so far. It's Kevin McAllister grown up. And he's still traumatized.
An article of this, but I did not look into it.
Yeah, it's interesting. It's actually quite fun. It starts off with him as it's Uber, but they don't say Uber. It's another name, okay. and he turns up at this thing, and the guy's like, "You're my driver?" It's like, "Yeah, like, actually my wife's job, but she doesn't want to do it. Oh, and I don't really know how to drive, but I've got to do it." And so the guy ends up driving, and he starts telling him the story of how his mum abandoned him as a kid.
He's an interesting looking dude these days.
Yeah, but fair enough.
I guess I can't judge being a child star and all that. Okay. Paul, I will leave it up to you what list I go with next.
Right.
Would you like People Magazine's best non-holiday movies, or would you like the best Christmas movies of all time, Rotten Tomatoes?
Well, how about we do best non-movies, and then we'll see how much we disagree with Rotten Tomatoes.
Okay, so how about I start all the way at the end here?
All right.
Okay, we'll start at number 10.
All right.
They don't specify which ones. Number 10, Harry Potter. Would you consider that something you would like to watch around Christmas time? I'm skipping the first question. Have you seen it?
Yeah.
It is required by law for your citizenship.
Yes, I both read the book and seen the film. And visited the studio that they made it. That one's not required by law, but it is fun.
But it's recommended.
Yes.
It's like visiting Mecca. If you're a good Englishman, you will go.
Yes. I could get on board with it.
Okay.
I mean, technically, it happens throughout an entire school year, so Christmas does occur, and there are some stuff in it.
But it's not certainly one I would think of to go to.
It's not recommend. It's not like it's not required viewing. But if you want to start, I would say it might be a nice way of. Let's say you have kids and they reach 4 years old or 5 years old. Like, start the tradition every year. Start with the first film and then move your way up.
All right, fair enough. Number 9, I would consider a Christmas movie just because I consider it an any day of the week movie, and that is Ghostbusters. So I'm fine with that being a Christmas film because that can be a July 4th film. That can be, that can be a Boxing Day film.
Be a Groundhog Day film. Doing a double bill with Groundhog Day.
Oh, that'd be a good one. Mrs. Doubtfire.
That is one of those films that has nothing to do with Christmas.
Exactly.
There is zero Christmas.
I guess I think
it's
we're
a
kind
family.
of going from the warm-hearted nature of the film.
Yeah, that's the thing. It's definitely a family film, so you could emphasize the family nature of it. But I just can't see it as Christmas viewing.
Yeah, I've heard this one before, and I don't get it. Titanic. I've heard other people say they watch this around Christmas time.
Well, it's freezing.
It's a lot of people die of hypothermia, like every winter.
I hate the film, so I would
Who doesn't want to watch a horrible tragedy from 103 years ago?
Oh, speaking of, have you heard that they are going to be launching Titanic 2 either next year or the year after?
I didn't know when.
There's going to be enough lifeboats this time.
Okay, good idea. All right, moving quickly. Star Wars. I don't get it for the original, A New Hope.
I mean, if it was Star Wars the Christmas special, maybe. Yeah.
Once again, not okay. Monty Python and the Holy Grail, is that number 5?
Sure, why not?
Sure, like Ghostbusters logic. Good time. Any time's a good time to watch that film.
Although technically, Life of Brian would have made more sense.
True. Yeah.
But sure, Holy Grail's great as well. So.
Yeah. They have some good little synopses here, but I'll skip them. Go to people.com if you want to see them. Air Bud. Moving on.
What?
Yes, exactly. Moving on. Number 3, Parent Trap.
Which one?
Lindsay Lohan is their screen cap they have.
Okay. Sure.
Yeah.
Maybe. Is there Christmas in that one?
I don't know. The movie has crazy camp stories and an even crazier plot to reunite two parents. Not to mention double the Lindsay Lohan! Exclamation point. Really, what isn't there to love? Lindsay Lohan! Exclamation point.
That's synopsis.
Yes. Number 2, anything Disney, which I can kind of get behind.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, most times.
And then Pixar, Disney, yeah. Number 1, I couldn't agree more. The Princess Bride.
Oh, there you go.
See, it wasn't not a Christmas film at all.
No, but that is a film I really need to rewatch. It has been too long.
That is one of those that I think just does such a great job of their demographic is everyone.
Yes.
Like an 80-year-old can enjoy that, an 8-year-old can enjoy that, a 25-year-old cynical hipster should be able to enjoy the Princess Bride.
I wonder why you went.
They'll find a way not to. But
I wonder why you went with an 80-year-old and an 8-year-old enjoying that. I wonder what from that film could be the 80-year-old. Yeah, that film. That's some solid writing right there.
Yeah. It's a film that brings together Democrats and Republicans and has some of the most quotable lines ever. Plus, the holidays are the best times to remind everyone that love conquers all. Oh, it's not sweet. All right, yes. So, I would agree with some of those.
Yes. Well, and I may have mentioned in the previous special, but I'm going to say it again here as well, and we were talking beforehand. In England, this is to the best of my recollection. It might have changed at this point since I have not been living in England for the past few years. But the two films that, when I was growing up, were always on at Christmas. Number 1, The Great Escape. Now, I do think there is a point in The Great Escape where they do have some sort of
really sad, depressing Christmas, right?
I guess. I don't know. But yeah, it's just always on. And there's a couple of things that I always jump to when it comes to that. There was an old TV show called it was like about Punt and Dennis, and they talk about how at Christmas what's always on? The Great Escape. It's like, they need a chance to show that again. Hardly ever on. Do they escape? And then Eddie Izzard points out that that it's an American film because what happens is Steve McQueen gets on a motorbike and goes through several countries just to get to the border of this one thing, gets captured at the border, and then gets taken back to the camp and put into solitary confinement. Whereas all of the British soldiers get round up and shot.
Merry Christmas.
Yeah. Okay, slight spoiler for Great Escape. But
hopefully you've had enough time to see that.
Yeah, I mean, it's... Yeah, the prisoner that has caused them the most trouble, the one that escapes the most often, keeps getting put back into solitary confinement. As if they're going, we really shouldn't, but get back in there, you know. And it's like, and then all of these other people have just been sitting around, not causing any trouble, and then they happen to be part of the escape thing. They're all put on this one field and mowed down. Like, okay.
Yay,
yes.
Santa.
And there was much rejoicing.
Yeah. Now I have 100% confidence now that the next film you're going to say is definitely a Christmas movie.
Oh yes, very much
Yes,
so.
and that is
there's Santa hats everywhere. It is the ever wonderful Jurassic Park.
Yes, the jingle bells around their necks and Santa hat kind of just cocked off to the side on T-Rex.
Yeah, I mean that's actually how you know the T-Rex is coming. You can hear the jingle.
Yeah,
yeah. No, it. I don't know.
Your eggnog starts shaking. Yeah.
I think what must have happened was it was such a hit that the TV were like, let's put it on. Like we'll get viewers. They'll watch Jurassic Park.
Yes, let them take out their violence they're feeling in their heads towards their family by watching the violence on the screen. Let them escape.
Yeah, it has always baffled me that these films are the ones that they decided would be. I mean, obviously they had It's a Wonderful Life and like other Christmas films on, and the Santa Claus once that was out and all that, but yeah, then these as well.
I mean, once again, any time of the year is a good time for Goldblum, but I don't know that,
well,
that's what I'm reaching for on December 24th or 25th.
Well, slight tangent then. Speaking of Goldblum, have you seen the new Independence Day trailer?
I did in front of a little film called Star Wars,
okay.
Force Awakens. Yes.
Fair enough. And what are your current feelings? Fair enough.
I'll hold out further judgment.
Was that your current feelings on the Independence Day?
No, I mean, there's a little more nostalgia for Independence Day because that was I was a little more around the right age for that to be a little more forgiving, but now I'm not as forgiving. But he's in there. Yeah,
I do think what they're hoping is that the people that watched Independence Day when it came out have grown up and will take their kids to see this Independence Day or something like that. So
I was able to slightly further down this tangent.
There we go.
I went to a 12:30 a.m. showing of The Force Awakens, and so there's a lot of energy, in the theater, and people are a little more forgiving. Like there was some talking and stuff during previews, but everyone was kind of cool. We were there to see Star Wars.
Everyone shut up when the titles. When
the stars, you just see stars. Yeah, shut the hell up. So there was a little more chatter during the previews, but I forget which one it was during. But my buddy and I were talking, and I said, I don't know how it led to this, but I said, they're making another Independence Day, and this was common knowledge.
Yeah.
What? They had no idea. No idea at all. And I was like, yeah. He's like, no, you're kidding. And the trailer ended, and the next trailer started, and I go, I pointed up the screen as the trailer for Independence Day started. I said, see? It's like, thank you, movie trailer, for validating my point.
Yeah, you had some of the best timing you could have possibly been there.
Yeah, and he's like, no, this isn't real. I'm like, yeah. He's like, oh. He was just beside himself. Horrible idea. Because he loves the first one, but not. Yeah, he's like, I can't do that. But, I don't know. I'll see. I'm expecting it to be kind of good, bad.
Yeah, and I was also thinking you do see a soldier at some point. He's only in it for like a second in the trailer, but he appears to be possibly a main character. It's a black guy, and I had this quick thought of what if it's Will Smith's kid grown up. Like, what if that's how they kind of work them back in? Because we know Will Smith is not going. At the very least. He has not been publicized in any way that he's in it.
Couldn't they have just made Creed in this the same movie? Creed, Apollo's kid, is like...
I saw something actually getting with Star Wars as well. Rocky beat Star Wars for Best Picture back when that came out, and now we have a Creed and Star Wars.
I don't think that will be happening this year.
Yeah, I think there's some retribution coming.
Not by any means would the Academy ever give a Best Picture to a sci-fi movie, but
yeah. But there we go. Okay, all right. Back on track.
Let's do this.
Just
Pull this through the Polar Express back on track. How about that? All right, that's a movie.
It is a movie, yes.
Grown. All right, so this list is kind of all over the place too. This is Rotten Tomatoes.
And what's the title of the list again?
25 best Christmas movies.
Best Christmas movie.
Not most accurate, not most loved, not
best.
most watched. Best. And I'll also provide the score real quick. But
right.
Number 25, starting off very mysteriously with Batman Returns, the Keaton sequel from 1992, with an 80%. Okay. Exactly.
Well,
why is that in there?
I mean...
Synopsis, Batman Returns.
I think that's why it's in there. They just wanted that in the list.
There's more, but that's how it starts.
Yeah.
You don't say.
Yes.
The Dark Knight. It's a dark night.
Yeah.
And then a lot of other stuff happens.
Yeah, the night wears some dark colours.
Batman Begins. Batman Begins.
The beginning of Batman.
Batman, there you go. But yes, I'm not really sure why that would be considered a Christmas movie. It's wintry. There's a penguin in there.
Yeah, I do think it is set around Christmas time. I think it is mentioned.
Yeah,
but
it's been
that's
so
an
many
interesting
years since I've
choice.
seen it. Yeah. Flawless casting of Danny DeVito as the Penguin. I would agree with that. Yeah. And Christopher Walken as well. Christopher Walken. Make the sequel better than the first. I don't know. All right. The Bishop's Wife. Totally unfamiliar with. 1948. 82%.
Sure.
Yeah. Cary Grant. Loretta Young. Yeah. Okay. Number 23. Lethal Weapon. In 84%. This is kind of your Jurassic Park.
Yeah. Okay. All right. It's been too long.
I think there's some Christmas in there too. Yeah. It's definitely around Christmas. That's right, because it is around that time.
All right. Okay. So this list. The only criteria is that Christmas is somehow in it.
Somehow related to it.
Somehow.
Apparently.
All right.
Big discrepancy from People, or AMC's, I guess, rather. Elf at number 22 with 84%.
Right. Well, in that case, I think what must be going on here then is that they took all of the films that had Christmas in some way in it and are now putting them based on their scores, right? Because the scores are getting higher.
They're getting higher, but not always.
Oh, okay.
Yes, I was seeing that trend as well, but we go from an 84 to an 87 to an 86 to an 85, back down to an 84.
In that case, I have no idea what's going on with this list.
This may be in no particular order. This could just be top 25.
Okay.
A Midnight Clear. Never seen it. 1992. 87%.
Never heard of it.
Ethan Hawke, Gary Sinise, Peter Berg, and Kevin Dillon. Looks like a war film. Beautifully filmed, wonderfully acted. Set in the Adrian's Forest in December of 1944. American GIs. Okay, so it's probably your Great Escape Christmas movie.
I guess, yeah.
Bunch of war guys celebrating Christmas or something. Trading Places, number 20, 86%. Too low. That's like a 95%. Come on.
Never seen it.
Come on. Great film. You have not seen Trading Places with Dan Aykroyd?
I have not.
Oh my gosh. Yeah.
Yeah, that is one of the ones that I wanted to see growing up, but never had the chance. And now that I might have the chance, I don't have the time.
Okay, fair enough. This one will be one of my favorites. Gremlins, number 19, 85%, which I think is a Christmas film.
Yeah, I would argue that's a Christmas film. I mean, isn't the entire point of getting the kid the Mogwai in the first place that it is a Christmas present?
Which, yeah, I mean, we could go into Gremlins at a later time, at another time, but that is an odd movie to rewatch because he is a grown man getting, like, toy robots, like a little toy robot for, a present. Living presumably with his parents. He's friends with like a 12-year-old, what is it, Feldman or Haim? Corey Feldman, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
Normally Feldman.
It's normally Feldman. But it's very weird because he's kind of trapped in adolescence.
Yeah, and as you see the sequel, he hasn't really grown up much.
No, but of course, the best Christmas-related part is Phoebe Cates' character saying why she doesn't like Christmas. And you recall why that is, Paul? Because her dad dressed up as Santa and got stuck in the chimney and died.
Oh, yeah.
That's hilarious. Oh, my God. Yeah, I could not get through that without laughing. But come on, it's so stupid. It's awesome.
Yeah, I'm sure it was written just
and that's why she doesn't like Christmas. Yeah. As you might.
Yeah.
Not understandable. But yeah.
Fair enough.
One of my favorite Christmas movies. Okay. Number 18, A Christmas Carol. That would be Alistair Sim, 1951.
I haven't seen it.
Kathleen Harrison, yeah, Christmas Carol, 84%.
I mean, I'm sure it's well placed.
Sure. Moving along, Un Conte de Noël, A Christmas Tale.
Oh, that one.
Yes, 86%. Yeah. All right. This I might have to check out because it just looks kind of awesomely bad. Rare Exports, A Christmas Tale. It's got an 88%.
Oh, that
16.
thing.
It's from 2010.
Oh, I've heard of this. It's supposed to be really
It's the
awful.
eve of Christmas. Yeah.
Oh, no.
Yeah.
What have you done, sir?
Oh, no.
Things are happening.
I was trying to find the link to the rest of the synopsis, but it took me somewhere else. It's the eve of Christmas in northern Finland, and an archaeological dig has just unearthed the real Santa Claus. That's the first line.
Yeah, I've seen it. I think it's supposed to be kind of like a B horror schlock film.
Yeah,
and
but it's a Finnish film. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, kind of along the lines of like Dead Snow sort of thing, where
okay,
it's like.
yeah.
I mean,
Wow, this is getting very odd. Okay, let's keep going here.
Yeah, I think
these
I
are
just
very
saw
good
that
films
one.
in here.
Yeah.
Kiss Kiss Bang Bang, which is one of my favorite movies of all time.
that is a fantastic film. And it
Number
does,
15 at 85%.
It
Is
does
this
take
Christmas?
place at Christmas.
I guess. But yeah, it is such a wonderful send-up of noir.
Oh, no. Yeah, remember, because Robert Downey Jr., he is robbing a store to get his kid the Christmas present. And that's how he gets
good
the
recall,
acting
sir.
done.
Yeah, but that was just such a fun take on film noir and
Yeah.
just the detective work.
And for me, wonderfully meta as well. Like,
Yeah, and Val Kilmer's so good at it. Like, I
Yeah.
would say his best performance since Tombstone. But yeah, they're them together. And, I mean, really kind of, I think, started the resurgence of Downey. That was 2005.
Yeah.
That was 3 years before Iron Man.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
Because that was his comeback after his falling off the wagon, shall we say?
Mm-hmm.
And so many great lines that. What was the one thing? It was like, look up the definition. Look up the definition of idiot in the dictionary, and do you know what you'll find? A picture of me? No, the definition of idiot, which you definitely are.
Yes.
So many great plays on. Really well done.
Number 14, another one of my all-time favorites. I love showing this film to people that haven't seen it. In Bruges, an 84%.
I have not seen
Fantastic.
Who's
Make
in it?
time for that. Do not judge me on this first name because he's very good. Colin Farrell.
No, I like Colin Farrell.
I normally don't, but he's fantastic in this. And then Brendan Gleeson and Ralph Fiennes. Brendan Gleeson,
good
who
list.
is an amazing character actor in anything, and then
Yeah.
Ralph Fiennes, who's
Yeah, he was very fun.
who's been in a couple of Harry Potter films as well. Sorry, Paul. I apologize.
Just shaking my head there. All right,
It wasn't too bad.
Carry on.
Okay,
Carry on.
sorry. I feel icky too. Alright, I apologize. All right. But seriously, it's so wonderfully dark and hilarious in Bruges.
All right,
It's
I'll see if
very
I can
funny.
look it up. I
Very, very
have a
funny.
little bit of time.
Yeah, they're a couple of hitmen who have to hide out while things cool down.
Oh, okay.
And have to hide out
In
Bruges.
Bruges. Ah.
And Colin Farrell isn't excited about it. Brendan Gleeson is. Hilarity does ensue. Yeah. All right, The Miracle of Morgan's Creek, number 13, 88%. Haven't seen it. 1944. I'm sure it's great. Tokyo Godfathers, from 2003 at number 12.
Oddly enough, I've heard of it, but I don't know what it is.
91%.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Okay.
The Japanese filmmaker Satoshi Kon directs his third anime feature with the holiday film Tokyo Godfathers.
Okay, that's why I've heard of it, but I don't...
The story takes place in, and then it's going to send me to a link. That's not the link anymore.
Okay.
More than likely.
Anyone that wants to know more about these, just look it up yourself. Cause,
go on IMDb.
Too much trouble for us.
Tokyo Godfathers. Yes, we're trying to move this along here. Number 11, A Christmas Story. I would agree. 1983, 89%.
I'll go with you on that. And I'm sure it's a quintessential Christmas film.
Arthur Christmas. Number 10. I sure hope these aren't ranked. number 10, 92% on Rotten.
Arthur
It's a 3D CG animated thing with James McAvoy, Hugh Laurie, one of your boys there, Bill Nighy, another one of your guys, and Jim Broadbent, another one of your guys.
And to be fair, James McAvoy is Scottish. So...
well, I started saying that on Hugh Laurie.
Yeah.
Yes, to my credit there. But yes, a Scot, a Brit, and a Brit. Yeah.
Even so, I've not heard good things about that.
Really? Arthur Christmas. 92%, really. Must be all the moms voting.
I guess, yeah.
Okay.
Whatever. I think it's only people that like the film have been looking it up. Okay. That must be it.
Apparently, yeah. No one's getting on there to really gripe about Arthur Christmas.
Yeah, it doesn't seem like it.
All right, number 9, which is our, I guess, America's version of Jurassic Park and Great Escape, Die Hard, which is the one that I've always heard of.
Yeah, I mean...
around Christmas, and 92%.
I think that's got the same issue I have with It's a Wonderful Life, in that it's set around Christmas,
but not about Christmas.
It has nothing to do with the plot. It's just
it's just a setting.
Yeah,
it's just used as the setting.
Whereas
it's Christmas time in LA. Yes.
Yeah. Whereas Home Alone, Christmas is part of the problem.
It's an integral. Yeah, it's the reason the plot develops. Yes.
Which I don't know if we're going to get to Home Alone later in the list or not, or whatever. But could you imagine Home Alone set now? It wouldn't work.
Well, obviously, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, just what would happen is Kevin would wake up, reach over and get his phone, and be like, guys? Oh, we left him behind. Well, let's turn around.
Or they'd have a GPS on his backpack and know they left him. Yeah.
Actually, it would be a horror film because, oh no, the phone's out of battery. The signal tower has gone down.
Mm-hmm. I'd like to see that as a horror film.
It almost is.
Yeah, depending, yeah. All right, this is one I've seen recently, which I really enjoyed. Number 8 is Tangerine. It's a 96%. You probably would not care for it.
Okay.
But it is. It's shot all on iPhones, and it is. Yeah, there's some graphics. There's some graphic scenes in there, but it almost comes off as a documentary. It's so well written. But two transsexual prostitutes are walking around LA. The one has just gotten out of prison, and she finds out that, lo and behold, her pimp has cheated on her, because we should be holding pimps to the highest of moral standards. And this will not fly with this woman. And so her and her friend go around the streets of LA trying to find Chester to make him answer for this, and meet a lot of interesting characters. And it's Christmas Eve.
Okay.
Yeah. And it also follows... What? Go ahead.
The pimp is called Chester.
I believe so. Chester, if I'm remembering that.
The pimp.
Rolls off the tongue, doesn't it, sir?
Is he a middle-aged white man by any chance?
I think... maybe I'm screwing that name up, but I'm pretty sure it was Chester.
And is the film the size of a diamond by any chance?
No.
That's a Dark Knight reference.
Yeah. No, but it also follows this Armenian family. He's a cab driver, and they're kind of dealing with their own infidelity issues. But there's a lot of great character stuff in it. But there are some very graphic scenes in it as well.
That sounds like it could be really interesting.
It was good. It's a 96% right now on Rotten Tomatoes. I thoroughly enjoyed it. The two men, I'm just saying that anatomically, not as any social issues, because they are men that play the characters, but they are transgender actors. They're newcomers, and they are both amazing in their roles. They're really, really, really good.
I'll have to look it up.
Yeah, but just where there are some very, like I said, some graphic scenes in there.
I have no issue with it.
Okay, all right. I'm just saying, as I don't know, with you may not, but
All right, yes.
Okay. Moving along, a film we've already touched on, The Nightmare Before Christmas, number 7, 94%.
Fair enough.
Yep, great. The Apartment, 1960. That is one I should have seen, but I have not. Jack Lemmon and Shirley MacLaine.
I don't think I've heard of that
93, yeah. And then we have Stalag 17 at number 5 from 1953.
Of course.
97%. Starring William Holden, Peter Graves, who I'm familiar with, Robert Strauss, who I'm familiar with.
I'm sure.
German POW camp. Yeah, let's watch that around Christmas. Okay.
So basically replace that with The Great Escape. And
So maybe not completely unwarranted for that to be a Christmas film, apparently.
I guess.
Back to Holiday Inn again at number 4, a 100% on Rotten.
Interesting.
Yeah.
No, I don't think there's many 100%.
Mm-hmm. Well, we're hitting another one here. The Shop Around the Corner with James Stewart from 1940, 100%.
Okay.
Sorry, folks, we're just a little too... I mean, not to say I won't watch a film that's a little older, but there are only so many hours in a day.
and them specifically being Christmas films, we may not have been searching about.
Unless it's going to be on cable television, I might watch a little. Miracle on 34th Street, 1947, 96%.
Yeah, fair enough. Yes.
96, yeah. And then, of course, the best Christmas movie ever, It's a Wonderful Life.
Not a fucking Christmas film.
Not a goddamn Christmas movie. It's about a horrible freaking person who doesn't even, spread that wealth out. It's not, I don't like it. Okay. Yep, that was the list. You got any other Christmas ones you want to add?
Not specifically, but one thing I did just want to ask about is, like, what are your feelings with all of these, like, Lifetime and insert other stations
Hate
here?
them.
Like, just how
They're the
many
same recycled
original
plot.
films?
Yeah.
At this point, the word original doesn't mean anything.
Yes. Let me guess. Some kid, is having a hard time with things.
Or mother. Kid or mother. It was always one of those two.
Well, yes. Living with mom. Dad likes the drink.
Or works too hard. One of the two.
Yes, or a bit of both. But by the end of the film, there's hugs and groans.
Probably reconciliation of some sort. And I think the only original sounding one at all that I'd heard of within the last 5 years was the Grumpy Cat Christmas with Audrey Plaza as the Grumpy Cat.
Oh.
And based on all reviews that I'd heard of it, which aren't very many, it was crap. There was nothing good about it. So, yeah, there we go. It's, I do think that when it comes to Christmas films, like Christmas or whatever holiday you have needs to be relatively integral to it to kind of count as a Christmas film, unless it's just one of those films that is just always on at Christmas. Those get a bit of a pass. And then when it comes to Christmas specials, like just write it well, please. Like,
yes.
There's so many Christmas specials that are just, well, let's just get relatively talented people and put them together. That'll be fine. Like that.
Let's put some juggling in there, and some because people love that.
And obviously we're talking right now directly to the people that make it because we know you're listening.
Of course, this is how you're finding out to get your next Christmas special made.
Exactly. Although I think we failed in that because we just listed off a whole bunch of films and they'll go, aha, we can rip those off now. Yeah, let's do that.
Yes. So obviously you're not a singer and we don't have time to find out if you're a dancer. Yes. Write something like that, not just puns about jingle bells and things. Yeah. Don't go for the low-hanging fruit.
So, yeah. I don't have anything else to add, but I do believe you have not a Netflix recommendation, but a podcast recommendation?
I do, even though, this, like I was kind of telling you earlier, they have their listenership pretty well established. But as I was someone that came into it new maybe a month ago or so, I don't know how long, if that, maybe 3 weeks ago, but the podcast, I heard it recommended by Paul Scheer, who recommended them in the first season. Paul Scheer, if you're not familiar, is a comedian. He's been on The League, which is a TV show that's, I think, in their final run. But he also has a podcast, How Did This Get Made, where he and his friend and his wife talk about somewhat bad movies.
Right.
And, just kind of dissect them every time, just a horrible 80s movie or something like that. It's quite entertaining. But on one of those, he recommended this podcast called The Worst Idea of All Time. Never has a podcast been named more accurately. Because if you're not familiar with these guys, they started out in, I think, mid-2013.
Sounds about right.
And they...
Might have been towards the end.
Yeah, closer to the end, yeah. Because they are up to date here on season 2. But watching the film Grown Ups 2, the star-studded comedic lineup, back again. This is very important, never seen Grown Ups 1.
Yep. And not doing any research on it
not
either.
Doing any research, no. They but they watch this film every week for a calendar year. And slowly descend into lunacy and madness and quibbling, bickering.
I am
going off on supreme tangents.
Yes, I am much further behind than Brian is, but by episode 9, I think it is, they have given up on reviewing the film at all, and are just grasping at straws, and they have, I guess it's 43 more to go after that. So, yeah, it's
I don't want to give anything away. They do kind of hit a spot where they're just kind of numb for a bit. But
although, listening to them talk, I almost want to see the film just for John Lovitz. It seems that no matter what, John Lovitz
that's like the first 20, yeah. And once again, as they recommend at the end of every podcast, don't watch the movie. Can't stress that enough. I've seen it. Don't watch it. It's not worth it. The hour and 40, you think, well, at least I'll kind of have reference for what they're talking about. Let your imagination build that reference, because that's going to be a better payoff than the film.
Yeah, it's never going to be as good as what you imagine.
But it's just such a fascinating for me idea for a concept, a social experiment, as it were. I mean, they ask many times, why they're doing this, but they just do it because they said they were going to. Yeah,
I've run into a point where the same person keeps saying, "Why do we do this?" and the other one says, "Well, we did say we do it."
Yeah, it's just interesting because they do discuss their. Another thing else on Paul I love about it is the honesty in it. That when the energy's low, the energy's low. They're not just going through the motions. They're like, we're not feeling it this week. They talk about their lives very openly. You learn about these guys. It's very interesting and very humorous too. They're two New Zealand comedians, Tim Bett and Guy Montgomery.
Yeah.
And I finished off season 1 and now season 2. They were watching Sex and the City 2.
Which
having
is
not
longer.
Yes, which is 2 hours 20. How the hell did that even happen? But yeah, the length is starting to get to them on that. But that is still currently going on. I'm on episode 9. Yeah, and they're on episode, I think, 41, 42, something like that.
I could have sworn they recently released 45, but yeah, maybe it is.
Okay, maybe, yeah, but still finishing up that one, so they bring guests on, and I would just give it a listen. It's a short podcast, 25 minutes to half an hour.
Yeah, and as far as I can tell, they never exceed that.
No, I think the longest one they've had was a live one that was 35 or 40.
Right. Well, that's a live one.
Yeah, you got to give people a little bit more for the money, but they're paying you to watch. To watch you talk about grown-ups too. But yeah, that's my podcast recommendation. Check those guys out. And
the only thing that
tweet them and say the Blockbuster sent you.
Yes, please do. And the only thing I'll add here is those of you in the podcast world will know, because every single time this came out at the beginning of this year, you were inundated with people saying, "Oh, you have a podcast like that Serial thing." Serial season 2 has started, and it is pretty much as interesting as the first one. So if you were a fan of the first one, remember it's still there, go find it again and give it a listen. It's this one is about a soldier who deliberately went missing in Afghanistan. I think it's Afghanistan. If I'm wrong, then whatever. But yeah, it's fun. But yes, if you're looking for something fun, definitely the worst idea of all time.
Yeah, you can tune in and you don't if you lose focus for an episode or 20 minutes, you haven't missed much. They'll recap, pretty much on the next episode. So.
Yeah, if you lose focus, that's fine because they probably have as well. Actually,
yes, but don't watch the movie.
Yeah. All right. Well, I think that's it for us.
Yes, we're gonna let the good people go now, Paul. Yep.
All right. Wait. Well, I've been Paul.
It's still Paul, and I'm still Brian.
Oh, you are?
Still.
All right.
See you, folks.
Bye.
You hear it in the songs of joy promoting fiscal gain. You see it in the credit cards that plaster down the drain. Cause Santa's laughter mocks the poor, and here it comes again. Santa's laughter mocks the poor, it echoes in the night. A nagging sound that makes you wonder if you got it right. Everybody lies awake and thinks there's more to life, but Santa's laughter mocks the poor, and you're to blame tonight. Santa, we love you, Santa. Don't you care? Why don't you ignore us, Santa? Santa's laughter mocks the poor, a liability that taunts you every time you turn on one of your TVs, or choose the leather option or a nice Moroccan tea. Oh, Santa's laughter mocks the poor across the seven seas. Santa, we love you, Santa. Don't you care? Why don't you ignore us, Santa? Santa's laughter mocks the poor, the catchiest of songs. If everybody else is singing it, it can't be wrong. You hear it in the news reports of panic in Hong Kong. Santa's laughter mocks the poor, you've known it all along. Santa's laughter mocks the poor, they just don't have the clout to make a difference in the way society's turned out. Share out all the money in the world, we soon run out. Oh, Santa's laughter mocks the poor, of that there is no doubt. Santa, we love you, Santa. Don't you care? Why don't you ignore us, Santa? Santa's laughter mocks the poor, it's Christmas time again. You hear it in the songs of joy promoting fiscal gain. You see it in the credit cards that flutter down the drain. Cause Santa's laughter mocks the poor, and here it comes again.
A credit card Christmas and a